your lunchtime companion. Lunchbox on 938 Live.
Thanks for staying tuned to 938 Live and Lunchbox with me, Howie Lim and Angela Lim, and a special guest with us as well, making it the lovely trio, I think. I'm a bit ahead of myself. Yeah, Jeanette Aw, actress, thespian, best loved for her role in the award-winning Little Nyonya drama serial on Channel 8, has now added author to a long list of things she does. Inspired by a if you can't beat 'em, join 'em attitude, Jeanette is with us today to talk about her 165-page book, Definitions. Thanks for joining us today, Jeanette.
Hi, everyone.
So I read somewhere that it was essentially bad press that brought about this book. I mean, you'd rather read something that you knew what was happening inside than something that would shock you.
Well,
was that
I
how it
wouldn't
was?
say it started on such a negative note.
Okay.
It's more like I really love writing, and all along during like media interviews, I've always been very private on a lot of stuff, like very personal things. So I thought that the best way to share was to be able to write them myself, because usually during interviews, sometimes what I read in reports, it's not what I said, or it's not exactly
taken out of context.
Yeah. So I guess there are certain personal issues that I like to share, and the best way to do it was really through writing.
Right. Why did you decide to share it at this point, though? You know, since you've always been a little bit reserved, perhaps, or a bit more private?
One thing is because I really love writing, and I thought that it would be a good start, to start from a personal perspective, and then hopefully I can go on to my next book and write and continue from there.
Still in the non-fiction vein, or perhaps tackle
fiction. Yeah.
So tell us about how you picked the things to write about. It was pretty random. There were some things about fashion. I mean, life, of course. And then you were saying from your perspective, how did you pick?
It's really like definitions. It's really like a dictionary theme from A to Z. And these things are like, you can say it's random musings. It's like thoughts, emotions, things that matter to me, and they're all with random musings in a very organized manner.
Right. Order and chaos.
Yeah. So all these words mean something to me. They have like their own little definitions, and then a whole passage or article that's written on that and how it relates to me. Yeah.
Right, so the definition of different things based on your thoughts and your feelings about it. Interesting.
So you say you've always liked writing. I mean, start, or have you always sort of doodled napkins?
Aspiring writer.
Since you were how old?
When I was in secondary school. Yeah, it actually happened. It actually started when I was doing, we always have this composition writing.
Did you
for
keep
English
a journal?
Lessons. No, not then. But I had a teacher who actually told me, like, Jeanette, you've got a very good command of language. That's when I actually started to really love writing, being able to illustrate things with words and like string words together to actually like convey my feelings. And
when you say language, you mean English, yeah? Because the book is also in some part in Mandarin.
Yes. And I feel most of the time that I can express myself better through words written than spoken. Yeah, so that's why it's always been a dream, like to have a book and to have it published.
But it took so long, 3 years. How come?
Yeah. Well, along the way, when I met the first publisher, he mentioned that he wanted something more juicy, since I'm a celebrity, I could share something behind the scenes or like something that people don't know about. And I told him that I wasn't very interested in that because that's not what I wanted to be credited for as a writer. I just wanted to share things that mean something. And it's just standing firm and believing that you have something to share rather than compromising on that. So he told me that it wasn't commercially viable. So he said no.
Your musings were not commercially viable. Okay.
Because he didn't have something to promote on. And so in between, I had a personal column with iWeekly, and that's when the second publisher came to me, and he gave me the freedom to write whatever I wanted. So that was good. Even though it was like 3 years, but I think it was worth it.
Right. And in that time, in that 3 years, did it actually help that you had that time to start working and thinking about things you're going to put in the book?
Well, actually, I had the manuscript ready when I met the first publisher. But when I was speaking to the second one, I actually thought of a whole new concept, and I threw some things away. I rewrote some stuff, and actually my first manuscript was purely in English. And it's only in the second one, which I named Jeanette Aw Definitions, that's you see like bilingual writings.
So what kind of writer are you? Are you with a cocktail on the beach, or in the darkness of a room, or at a coffee shop?
I would say it's actually very easy reading. It's something that, you know, you can just pick up and you just want to, like, you can flip to any page or flip to any alphabet and start from there.
So it's not sort of like sequential.
You don't have to go by order. And actually, I would say that it's not only for fans or people who know who Jeanette Aw is in that sense, but I think there are definitions in there which people can relate to, like anyone on the streets whom, you know, may be able to share some definitions in there with me. Yeah.
Tell us a bit about your writing process. Do you have to be all by yourself with the some type of music on, or, you know, in a coffee shop pounding away at the
actually, it can be any moment, because I always have like things coming into my mind, and I always have a notebook with me. So whenever I think of something, yes, I'll write it down. Yeah, but it's best if I can be on the computer, because I type fast. Yeah, and when I scribble, it's like, I forget my thoughts.
Most of us are a bit like that.
So you don't sort of set aside time, like, okay, later on 2:00, I have to sit down and write.
No,
that doesn't work for you.
That. No, sometimes like I sit in front of the computer the whole day and I can't think of anything.
Writer's block. Yeah.
Yes.
I was wondering also, since you're so busy, you know, with your schedule and stuff like that, how do you manage to squeeze in time to actually put the book together? It's a whole book.
I guess.
I mean, there is some order in the chaos and the randomness,
exactly.
right? Yeah. So you needed to spend time to think about how to order it.
I think the best time I had was when I was in China. Because over there I had no distractions. I didn't have television. I didn't have like movies. I didn't have friends to meet or for tea or something.
No distractions at all.
Yeah, so I was filming, and then when I came back, all I had to do was like, switch on my laptop and do my writing. Yeah, so that was a very good time for me to actually compile everything once again for this very book. And I did sketching as well. Yeah, there are drawings in there.
The illustrations that you did in the book. Interesting.
Would you say you're first a writer, though, before an artist, or an artist before a writer?
Well, I would...
At this stage?
I would say writer before artist.
It's still very
because I think it's more
multi-talented.
me. Yeah, like, you know, a lot of people ask me like, why is it that you think you can you can write better than you speak, since you're an artist, right? But to me, it's like, when you're playing different roles, you're just playing characters. Whereas as a writer,
the words are given to you anyway.
Yes. And whereas as a writer, I can be myself. Yeah. So it's a more personal approach, and I like people to know me that way.
Was it a bit cathartic for you, when you're writing the book, because you could be yourself, and this was one of the very few channels that you could actually be exactly who you were?
To actually find a voice for myself.
Yeah, that's great. So to find out more, if you want to know more about Jeanette's book, she's actually releasing it this week. This one is, or rather, 3rd March, actually.
It's out in
already?
stores already. 3rd March is the book signing.
Okay, so you can
So if
actually
you want
see
to
Jeanette.
get a copy of her book, available at all major bookstores, you can meet her in person at Kinokuniya on the 3rd of March. I don't know the
2
time.
p.m.
2 p.m. Dang it, we'll still be here. 2 p.m. it shall be, 3rd of March at Kinokuniya. Meet Jeanette Aw as she talks about her book, and you can get yourself a copy of her book as well. Definitions by Jeanette Aw. We want to thank the lovely Jeanette Aw for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us on 938 Live.